Thank you, James.
Madam
Mr. Shor?
President, there's a couple of things I'd like to add. First, there's been some comments about that a survey determined that Mr. Fleming didn't live in the district. I suggest to you that the survey was used hopefully to determine that which the public records showed weren't accurate. That the survey could have been a tool by which the public records were shown not to be accurate, and that Mr. Fleming was residing in the district. I don't know if anyone has recognized that, but that was the purpose of the survey. In education, we talk about the 3 R's, and I want to talk about the 4 P's for a moment. The 4 P's are person, position, principal, and principal. The person is Richard Fleming, and I appreciate very much Richard's recognition and acknowledgement that this is not about him as a person, that it is solely about the position and the geographical requirements that need to be satisfied to lawfully serve as a board member. Talk about principle, and I want to talk about principle. Mr. Gomison, Mr. Mayfield, Mr. Hyanga, who is not here right now. When you spell principle, you spell it P-A-L. And I suggest that's not an inappropriate way to spell it, but I suggest it's not the only way it can be spelled. It can also be spelled with the last syllable being P-L-E. And unfortunately, we know that courts can get things wrong. If courts didn't get things wrong, we would never have Plessy v. Ferguson as being the law of the land for a period of time, and we would never have had the Dred Scott decision. But those cases are in our law books, and for periods of time, they were the law. Rosa Parks sat down for a principle. Rosa Parks happens to be one of my heroes. And I suggest that were we to enter into a settlement that allows for X to be Y, that we run into the distinct probability that whenever someone comes and sits at those chairs over there and has a grievance with us, that we run the distinct probability of being challenged in terms of why should we apply this rule? Why should we apply this policy? Why should we apply this? I know that those of you who are here tonight are here on lots of these matters, but you're not here all the time. And by law, you're not entitled to hear all the pleas that come before this board. But I have fewer hairs on my head than the number of times this board gets requested to not comply with some rule. I think that the teachers that Mr. Hyanga speaks on behalf of, I think that they want to know that this board can be trusted. I think the taxpayers, I think they want to know that this board can be trusted. I don't think that they want the possibility that this board is going to short-circuit something, that maybe we won't require a background check, or maybe we'll let somebody whose background check doesn't qualify. Maybe we'll let them serve. Maybe we won't have an audit committee. I think the taxpayers want to know that the folks who are at the top, who are setting the tone for the entire district, are seeking as much as possible to comply with law. The Dallas Business Journal, in last week's article, said that nothing destroys employee values quicker than if they recognize that the folks at the top bend the rules when it suits their purposes.